The City of Rockingham says it has a responsibility of planting, maintenance of and removal of trees within the municipality's reserves and streetscapes. But they hate doing it because there's not a great deal of money to be made in these expenses and still keep the Rockingham Rain Board in more debt. But they are already in 60 years' worth of debt laid upon them by these receivers. What the receivers are more interested in is more control and more profit by expansion and extortion. Here's a couple of examples that are low on the priority list for the City of Rockingham's maintenance list. A large tulip tree branch sat for over a week blocking a popular and busy footpath on Flinders Lane, and the branch still had further to fall and was balancing dangerously on the tree only a metre from someone's front gate. Now, regardless of whether or not this had been reported by the public, there is never a minute during the working week that someone from the City of Rockingham's Parks and Gardens crew is not driving along this road, as they virtually live across the street, giving the extra special attention to the special Simpson Family village green. And they would have driven past this tree branch for an entire week. Now, we understand that there is a system in place that the outside workers cannot just go and do a tree cutting job like this, but they should be able to. The reason they can't is because of a costing system initiated by a job in a cost code system, which the interdepartmental charging will result in the overinflated cost of the job being incurred by the City of Rockingham receivers. And as we've said before, the expenses of the receivers take priority over paying down the debts of the Rockingham Road Board. And that, in a nutshell, is the entire business model of these imposters and scam artists that occupy and pose as the actual municipal authority. So after noticing that it was still there at the end of the business week, we did head on down with the chainsaw and did something for our local district, and we cut it up and we moved the now cut pieces safely away to the side, and we cleared the footpath, and we did show how to take care of our own streets and each other, our fellow townsfolk, without these parasitic receivers of municipal districts even getting involved. And from start to finish, it took 8 minutes to complete. The same day, we did find another serious traffic hazard fallen tree branch in Anaro Street in Hillman. Now, this really was a traffic hazard, teetering on the edge of the crash barrier, right on the edge of the road for 3 weeks or more. How do we know 3 weeks? By the colour of the dead leaves, compared to the previous fallen branch of 1 week. Now, why did the smartwatch morons not report this? Were they too busy spying on persons of interest in Hillman to the City of Rockingham? Or bludging in their usual hangouts like Miller Road Cemetery, Spudshed Car Park, Hillman Hall Car Park, or Kwinana Beach Car Park? And why did the rangers not report these fallen trees? Were they too busy whistling out dogs that were still on private property? Yes, that is a real thing, and is a practice employed by the City of Rockingham Rangers to call a dog out from private property so it can be then captured. The video shot footage is disgraceful, but the canine's ear did eventually recover after being stolen from the front yard and then held for ransom over a long weekend by the City of Rockingham Rangers without its medicine. These are all ways that the receivers make money out of their kiddies that live in their wards, by stealing your canines and ransoming them back to you. And this is the same for every council in Australia. We just use the scumbags from the City of Rockingham as the example.